Man, we had to
Yep.
run niggas up out of everything for you, bro. I'm telling you, man, people thought we told them you was still staying here, man. We squatters in here and everything, bro.
Yep.
Before the dude got them call up in here one night, man, him and some girl, man. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? It was cold and shit, man. They was all up in your crib and shit, man. I had to make them get up out of there and shit, man. See, we don't be here like that, you know what I'm saying, no more, but we come over here and shit, but I came here twice and caught people in the damn house, bro. I had to get them up out of the Pee-wees, got them came in here.
wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Man, that shit crazy, man. I thought you was gone, bro.
Hello everyone, I am Mohammed Rahman, mechanical engineer. So for today's short video, I want to talk about the situation of my house. When I return home from my trip from Asia, so basically the condition of the house when I get home after my trip. You see, so when I get home, I took up my keys and opened the door and get into the house. But when I get into the house, I realized that things weren't good. You see, I quickly realized that all my possession of value, has been stolen. You see, all the electronics in the house has been stolen, and also all the, all my clothes has been stolen. Also, all my products also has been stolen. You see, but also on top of this, I started to find out that the house has been severely damaged. You see, the walls and also the floor, especially the bathroom floor, has been severely damaged. You see, and also on additional to this, I started to discover that there are a lot of human waste in the house and around the house. You see, a lot of feces and urine in the house and around the house. You see, actually, initially when I get into the house, I thought maybe I can just get it fixed very quickly. I can just stay in the hotel for a few days, while I call some professional cleaning crews to come to the house and just get it clean and then move back in. But again, as I continue to find out the extent of the damages, in the house and around the house, I realized that it's not going to be a simple fix. It's not going to be a quick fix. So basically, again, after doing more research, I start to I came to the conclusion that and also again from the feedback that I received, that I will need to find a temporary accommodation, a temporary accommodation where I can stay for a few months, while trying to basically step back, recover, step back, regroup, and recover from this situation. And basically that's what I've been doing since I got back, and inshallah, slowly by slowly, I'm recovering, and things are getting better. But also, as soon as I get into the house, one of my neighbor, came to me and started talking to me about the situation, about the homeless, the homeless people and the squatters that were, coming into the house, and also sometimes trying to come into the house. That they, my neighbors, were also trying to prevent them from getting into the house. You see, my neighbor was telling me that sometimes he will come to the house and trying to get those squatters and homeless people that are already in the house, trying to get them removed from the house, and that's what he's been doing. But he told me that over time there were just so many of them and they cannot get all of them. You see, so some of them were able to get into the house, which caused the destruction and the damages in the house. So yeah, as you can see from the first clip in this video, we talk about the situation a little bit, but again, like I said, I thought this can be fixed, by just by getting some professional cleaning crews to professional cleaners to come to the house and get the house clean. But after the research, after the discovering all the extent of the damages, I have to find a temporary accommodation where I can stay for a little bit while I try to regroup and recover from the situation. And alhamdulillah, that's what I've been doing, and things are, things has been getting better. Okay, so now I want to talk about the situation, the situation in our society in general. You see, because my first professional job actually was working as a social worker. You see, I used to work as a social worker in my community, but my main goal, my main task was to work with a community member or family in my society. Anytime they have a problem, most of those problems are difficulty paying the rent, or sometimes utilities, and sometimes even medical bills. You see, so the nonprofit that I used to work for will allow me to step in anytime a community member have these difficulties. You see, and I will work with them to try to resolve these problems. Again, most of the time it's just paying the rent. You see, and we will step in, try to find a way to help them with paying their rents. And again, sometimes it can be utilities, sometimes it can also be medical bills. So that's what I did for about 5 years in my community. But what I'm observing is, from then to now, it seems like the problems that our people are facing, it's not getting better. Actually, it seems like it just keep getting worse. You see, for example, now we the people in our society are facing this homeless crisis. You see, and now millions will have to go through this homeless crisis in their lifetime. And again, I believe this crisis is due to the fact that in our society we have a chronic lack of affordable housing. And also now in our society, Wall Street is going around buying single family homes so they can hodl all those homes so they can make profit later down the road. You see, I believe these are the causes of the increasing homeless crisis in our society. And also, we the people are now facing a mental health crisis. And I think this is because that's just so much hatred and violence in our society. You see, and again, I believe our government, politicians, the media are also part of the sources of this hatred and violence in our society, which is causing this mental health crisis. Also, on this on this violence and hatred, our government consistently engaged perpetual war in societies all over the world, and I think this have an impact on Americans in our society as well. You see, so we have to realize this situation, and again, try to work towards it. Try to work towards solutions for these problems and this crisis. But also, additional to this, now we the people in our society are also facing healthcare crisis. Of course, I think the reason for this is because now in our society, Wall Street is now taking the Americans' health, as hostage for the sake of making massive amount of profit. Again, we face all these problems, we face all this crisis, but yet, when you look at our society, it seems like our government and our society it's not making these problems a priority. It's not making these problems a priority that we should work on and resolve. But yet, our government always make it a priority, perpetual war all over the world. Again, death and destruction is like the main priority of our government, not solving the problems of Americans in our society. You see, just last year alone, we gave hundreds of billions of dollars to different countries for the sake of war and for the sake of waging war or continue a war. For example, we give hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine to continue the war, and also, again, hundreds of billions of dollars to Israel so they can continue their genocide. But yet, we have these problems in our society that these funds can be used to resolve. So, you see, just last year alone, the funds that were sent to Ukraine and Israel is enough to house every single homeless Americans in our society. Additionally, it's enough to resolve the healthcare crisis of every single American that went bankrupt last year just because they get sick in our society. But yet, again, it seems like our government have not made this a priority. The only priority of our government is war, perpetual war, death and destruction all over the world. You see, also, lastly on this regard, I want to talk about the problem that most Americans are not paying attention to. And this is the military industrial complex, how it is destroying our society from the inside out. You see, our society should not be heavily dependent on military and militarization of every single part of our economy and our society. I think this is a very bad thing, a very bad thing that is happening. But yet, again, most people are not paying attention to this. Again, I think the military industrial complex is what's behind the perpetual war, the death and destruction of people all over the world. And also, I think sometimes, or actually not even sometimes, actually even the main reason why our government cannot focus internally on the prosperity of all Americans. You see, because again, we have to focus on something else, which is waging war, waging forever wars. You see, and I think we have to try. We have to try to change the priority of our government towards, helping Americans, taking care of Americans, and solving this crisis that most Americans are facing. Again, millions of Americans have to go through this crisis. Millions of Americans will have to go through a homeless crisis. Millions of Americans will have to go through a mental health crisis. Again, millions of Americans are going bankrupt in our society just because they get sick. This should not be happening. We have the money. I mean, we have the money to spend on all these wars and all this death and destruction all over the world. Why can't we use those funds and solve the problems of Americans in our society? And I think this is how it should be, and I think this is what we should do. See, so again, I think we should, a lot of us should pay attention to this and try to change the focus of our government towards, solving the problems of American in our society. All right. So basically, this is all I want to discuss for this video. Please subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.